lads, ladies, non-binary daisies. Um, so the next book is Guardian of the Dawn. It's the second in the World Whisperer series by Rachel Devonish Ford. And I I didn't really like this book. We go back to Issaka's stepmom still living in the place, and now like they know that Issaka is going to come for her, so they're like trying to use her as bait to get Issaka to come to the capital city so that she can do something. Issaka is adjusting to life well in the city that they're in. She doesn't like it when people call her the World Whisperer because she never wanted to be special. She just is and would really prefer to just focus on her pottery. Um, yeah, their sister Arya is still kind of resistant to them, which fair. um, Isaka's having dreams of her stepmom, and she goes to the council and is like, "Hey, I would really like to go get my stepmom," and the council is like, "No." They're still really concerned about Isaka wanting to be queen, even though Isaka has said repeatedly that she doesn't want to be queen. And Jabari, that kid who's like the son of one of the dudes on the throne, not on the throne, on like the council, he is kind of fancy. He kind of fancies Isaka, but whatever. Um, one of the bird people comes and tells Isaka that she needs to help her stepmom. So she and her brother decide that they're gonna go do it. So fuck it. Um, yeah, and they don't want to go into the village though because there's magical who's a what's its, and they end up finding out they have to go to the capital because that's where her stepmom's been taken. Um, So they cross the desert, and then Issaka can like literally change the world because she's the world whisperer and she's able to like summon water. Jabari and his friends, by the way, they also were like out scouting, I suppose. I don't actually know what they were doing, but they were out scouting and they find out that Issaka and Ben have left home and are going after their stepmom. So Jabari and company, including Arya, decide to go and help them. Yeah. So Jethra, that's her name. Jerutha, that's the lady's name, her stepmom. So they go to the capital city and they get her, and all of them meet up and they're able to make it back to their home place. But now there's like a war that's going to start, and yeah. And I'm not super interested in the next two books because like antagonist just to be antagonist or I don't really know what his deal is. There's like a desert king that wants to meet with Issaka, but we're not really sure why. Still don't really know where her mom is from because clearly this worker city is not where she's from, which is where I thought she was from, but it's not. Um so yeah. And Arya's hesitance is kind of annoying because I get like being weird about like your family, but her siblings had nothing to do with her being like sacrificed, so I don't really know why she's kind of like mad at them. I get that they went after the younger brother and not her, but they didn't really know what was going to happen. They were still following the traditions, so I don't really like her being annoying. Um, yeah, I don't. It's not that I don't like this book. I'm just not super into like really strict cultures and the protagonist who's going against said strict culture. The village also sets fire at the end. I'm not really sure how that happens, but um yeah. And or no, I think that's like a vision that she has that the village is like setting fire, like where they live now with their new family. Um a part of the reason I think I don't like it is because Issaka has a point. By this point, she's kind of like, you guys should really want to actually get rid of like your worst enemy, but they seem very resistant to that. And it's like, well, he's encroaching upon your land, so either you need to do something about it or your entire way of life is going to get destroyed. So like it would be one thing if the strict traditional person had a point and the antagonist also had a point, but only the antagonist has a point. Like, they need to do something or they're going to be killed. So, yeah, I didn't particularly like that book. It's whatever, though, I suppose. I got plenty other books to read. Um, Also, that's a Harry Potter poster up there. I shifted my room around a little bit. My camera, I don't know why my camera's facing like this, but whatever, I suppose. This is an angle. Um, the next book is called The Devil's Apprentice, and it's the first in the Great Devil Wars series by Kenneth B. Anderson. I like this book. He's a Dane, and I think this book is also translation. He's got like an entire website with all of his books on it. Not all of them have been translated into English, and yeah, it's pretty cool. According to the website, by fall there will be 6 of them. I don't know if that's the last one, but there will be 6 of them. And it's dark fantasy and coming of age, and the description also says it's humorous. Thinking back on it, I can see where the humor comes in, but I'm not super into like the ditzy, naive character being played as the joke. I'm not super into that. There's this kid named Philip. He's bullied by a right dickhead. Like, this kid is actually torturing people, and the bully gets caught. Philip like goes to leave, and then he gets hit by a car because dickhead pushed him into the car, and he ends up in hell. He's not supposed to end up in hell. The target was actually the right dickhead, and Lucifer decides, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to work with this kid. The problem with Philip, though, is that he's so pure that he doesn't even lie. And, like, he lost one of his best friends by being a snitch. In fairness, though, the friend did kick a ball through the window, which I'm not taking the fall for anybody on that shit. Like, absolutely not. But, yeah, so he ends up in hell. He goes to meet Lucifer, and Lucifer is like dedicated to trying to corrupt this kid. There's got to be one way to corrupt him. Also, an hour into hell, he's already lying. The dude that found him in hell, like, gave him some tea, but it wasn't really tea, so, like, he dumped it out and said that he liked the tea. So, yeah. Also, the reason Lucifer needs him is because he's dying for some reason. Not entirely sure why at the beginning, but like that becomes less important. I kind of forgot that that was a thing that was happening. I kind of just thought Lucifer was like, Lucifer, like from the show. I kind of just thought he was like, you know what, screw it. So yeah, there's a demon who's like being really mean to him, and he's also not allowed to tell anybody because none of the demons know that Satan's dying. So because if they knew, it would be really bad. There's this lady demon named Satina who she saves him from like being flambéed by the demons. They come back to like mess with him later, but then he's also saved during that. What's what's really weird about Philip though is that even though he's like super duper nice and like it's weirdly nice, it's not cringy, I guess. He's just nice. Like that girl who left YouTube for a little bit and turned back up, and Shane Dawson, being himself, decided to like do like a documentary with her, and she is healthy now, and I cannot remember what her name is, but I know she's got like dark hair and she's like really really pale, and yeah. But yeah, so there's also a door that they're not supposed to open in Lucifer's office, and Satina wants to open it, so Philip decides to do it. He's got like very mild things up to this point that are affecting him, but then like he's falling in love with Satina, so Lucifer and his weird pet cat decide to use that against him and frame it as though Satina is like his real Satina is also in love with Philip, but they frame it as though like Satina is not in love with him and is with the kid who is like bullying him, that demon, and that's making Philip angry. And once he starts like doing bad things, he starts to like develop horns and a tail, and he starts to become a right dickhead. And yeah, this whole time we find out that I believe Lucifer has been poisoned um, by like a demon who used a different demon named Howl to cover up for what he did. And yeah, like uh, Philip also gets wings. I think he's supposed to look kind of like how your typical devil would look, but like also with wings and like the weird bat wings. Uh, so Luc- Also, the cat's name is Lucifax, which is so stupid. Anyway, Philip is like learning, and he also starts to be rude to Lucifax, and he doesn't really care about Lucifer, but like he's supposed to be like the replacement devil, so training is going well. Um, Philip finds out that Lucifax and Lucifer were tricking him, and he decides to go apologize to Satina, who hears him out, and Philip and Satina are able to Philip and Satina are able to like cure Lucifer because the kid who was bullying Philip, the demon, he is the one who poisoned him, but actually it wasn't him, it was his mother. And both of them are sent away. So, yeah. Um, Life comes to give Philip back his humanity, his living. I don't know. She comes to make him alive again, and he also meets Death, and Death takes 2 minutes off of his life for the 2 minutes that he gave to save Lucifer's life, and Philip, the right dickhead, the bully kid, the human one, he's like shaken up by the fact that he nearly killed someone, and Philip decides to invite him over, and he's like, the dickhead, whose name is Sam, by the way, he's like calmer now and not so much a dickhead because it's one thing, apparently, it's one thing to bully someone, it's like an entirely different thing to nearly kill them, I guess. And, not to, but like, what did he think was going to happen? We pushed them into the street. Um, Philip has retained some of the things, though, from when he was in hell, so as like a small revenge, he gives Sam like a really gross drink. So yeah, I this is the first book on the list that doesn't have like that's not a sequel that I liked. Philip has a nice consistent story and his character development is great. I do think that there are people in the world who don't lie. I just think that it can be hard to be that person sometimes because, like Philip, you could end up without friends. Um, Yeah, I just I think it's hard to be honest all the time, but you should always try to be. And there are certain people that you shouldn't lie to. And Philip has learned that sometimes getting back at the people who are messing with you is kind of okay because like Sam, the human bully, he was like he chose a kid every single week to like torture at school and the teachers were just letting him get away with it because there was no evidence and no one wanted to turn him in, which I don't remember exactly, but I remember having the thought that some of the things that were described that Sam had done, those things would be grounds for expulsion. So, or, jail time, but whatever, I guess. Um, I read the description for the second one, and I really hope that he's not a caricature of himself, where like he's just all bad now and maintains none of his goodness. Because like you gotta be good sometimes. Like just like also as a point of fact, um, if you're being bullied by someone who was like out and out sadistic, like um getting you things like getting you sick or like causing you like bodily harm on a daily basis and like he's been doing this to the entire student body, maybe you guys should all band together because sadistic bullying, like, no. Like bullying at all, no, but like the sadistic kids, they usually get caught and like don't have the chance to seek revenge on their victims because if you are like I'm trying to think of something that Sam did but like I can't. It's like just for like an example, if this kid is threatening to give you tetanus by like shoving nails into your arm, maybe you should say something cuz that's like that no. That's no. In lots of states it's already illegal to bully someone because it's just another form of harassment, but like knowingly giving someone an illness that can be deadly is grounds for like that's attempted murder. Like maybe you should say something. Um yeah, like um and also when it comes to bullying, if your parents aren't on your side even if you're the victim, like that shit sucks because I know for me, like no, you were not allowed to just sit here and like bully my child. So, yeah. Subscribe.